Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next story. So, this is going to be On the Banks of Plum Creek, and it is by Laura Ingalls Wilder. It is going to be day one that we are going to begin with, and I'm going to run through our PowerPoint that I'm going to post with you, and I'm going to hit a few of our major key points that we need to focus on. And I'm going to assign tonight to go ahead and open up the story so that you'll have it on Reading Street as well. So, if we're looking and we're talking about key concepts, we're going to focus on how our central question is for this story is traveling to new places or traveling to explore new places. And we're going to be looking at how do people travel? Why do we travel? Where do we travel? Where do people travel? Okay, so that's something that you're going to keep in mind as we go through this story. And we'll come back to this and add to it in our PowerPoint. So let's take a look at our amazing words as we always do. Let's take a look, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, at the word route. Okay, route. Say it with me. Route. Very good. Now, depending upon your route, you might catch a glimpse of the Great Lakes to the north. What is a route, ladies and gentlemen? Let's take a look. Read it with me. A route is a way or course taken in getting from a starting point to a destination. Good job reading that with me, class. Let's take a look at our second word. It's the word coast. Say it with me, guys. Coast. Very good. Coast. Now, coast to coast, that's nearly the same distance as from New York to London, passing over the Atlantic Ocean. So, class, what's a coast? Let's find out. A coast is the part of the land near the sea, the edge of the land. Very good. Let's take a look at our next one. Desert. Say it with me, class. Desert. Very good. Now, on the southern route, you might see the desert below. So what is a desert? I want you to read this next slide with me. I know you can do it. Altogether, a dry, barren area of land, one covered with sand that is characteristically desolate, waterless, and without vegetation. Very good reading. Let's take a look at our next amazing word. It's valleys. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Valleys. Very good. Then you'd climb above the snow-capped Rockies before passing over the lush green valleys of California and the shores of the great Pacific Ocean. So what are valleys? Let's find out. And you're going to read this next slide with me. I want to hear all of you. A low area of land between hills or mountains, typically with a river or stream flowing through it. Very good reading, ladies and gentlemen. Now, our literary element for this story, we're going to be talking about character, setting, and plot. We know our characters are the people in a story. We know what characters are like by noticing how they act and what they say. If the characters are telling the story, they're going to say I, me. The author's going to write in first person. If the characters are telling the story, they're using either him, his, she, and her, then we can say that the author is writing in third person. Very good listening. Now, for setting, this is a review. We know that the setting of the story is where the story takes place or when it happens. Now, our plot is the sequence of events in a story, and we've already practiced that a little bit, but we're going to work more with that, I promise. Now, for Our background knowledge, making sure good readers use what they know to help them understand a story. We dig into that prior knowledge. We know what we've already learned, and we can add and fit that to new things that we learn. So before we read a story, we look at the title, we look at pictures, and if we know something about the subject, then it'll help us to better understand what we're going to be reading. So previewing our stories help us to get a better understanding. Let's take a look at our selection vocabulary. Now, this looks like a funny little creature. This is a badger. Now, he is a burrowing, flesh-eating mammal. He looks lovely. Let's take a look at our next word. It's a bank, the rising ground at the edge of a lake, river, or sea. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at our third word, bristled. Read this with me. This is short, stiff hair. Take a look at these hedgehogs. We know they have that short, bristled hair. Let's take a look at jointed. It's a place where two things or parts are joined, like your elbow, your knee, and your hip. Read this next one with me, class. Patched. Very good. It's mended with a scrap of matter. It's a patch. We've had maybe holes or maybe just a patch for decoration. I know we've put on different maybe pants or shirts or jackets. Now, ruffled. This is, everyone read loudly with me so I can hear you, a strip of closely gathered material. You're doing very good reading today. I'm so proud of you. Now, let's take a look and say this word. This is a different one. Say it with me out loud, guys. Rushes. This is a marsh plant with hollow stem. So up inside this picture that you see, that means that their stem is hollow. We'll probably learn that it's so that it can absorb water. Now, our grammar skill, we're going to be talking about subjects and predicates. We know that a subject, every sentence has a subject, and every subject has a predicate. Our subject is the noun, and our predicate is going to be the verb. Now, if you look here at this bottom part, it says all the words that are in the subject are called the complete subject. And I'm going to show you another quick example about that. Now, if we have the simple subject, it is the most important word in the complete subject. A simple subject can be more than one word, such as San Francisco. A complete subject here would be, in the example, would be the dry earth slid under Laura's feet. Well, the whole subject there is the dry earth. But the simple subject would just be earth. That's the noun. Okay? So let's take a look at those predicates. Now, the predicate is the verb. It's the part of the sentence that does the action. So all the words in the predicate are called the complete predicate, just like we did with the subject. But the simple predicate, or just the verb, is that one important word that's in the complete predicate. So a simple predicate can be more than one word, as in had lived. So let's look at a quick example, and we'll do more with this. A complete predicate, which is the dry earth, slid under Laura's feet. The same sentence, but now we're looking at the action part. Slid under Laura's feet is that complete predicate. But if we look at the simple predicate, it's just the single verb, which is slid. Okay? So now, wrapping up our grammar skill, a compound subject is made up of two or more subjects, and a compound predicate, well, naturally, ladies and gentlemen, you are on target, is made up of two or more predicates, because we know compound words are made up of two words, like, oh my goodness, off the top of my head, why can I not think of a compound word? I'll have to get back to you on that. I'm having a moment where I'm just totally lost. I'm focused on this lesson, and so that's where I need to be. A compound predicate is made up of two or more predicates. And so a fish hook, okay, a fish hook would be a compound word. So like we have here in the example, compound subject. We have two subjects in this one, Laura and Mary. Okay, a compound predicate. If they showed you here, they splashed and played. It's two verbs. It's two things that they did. So sometimes teachers have moments too, guys, and I apologize for that. I was so focused on what I wanted to tell you because I know that when we get into grammar skills, I know that it's tricky. All right. These are your spelling words that we are going to focus on this week, and it's going to be with long E and long O. And I know that you can go through and I know that you can say these quickly with me, nice and loud. So we're looking at the word sweet, least, throat, flown, croak, indeed, seaweed, each, freedom, float, greet, shallow, rainbow, hollow, three, below, foam, season, eagle, and groan. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you did a fabulous job going through day one and the introduction of our new story. I look forward to, like I said, another reading adventure with you. I love you dearly and I cannot wait to see you all soon. So I will tell you to have a good afternoon and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed our time together. Bye bye for now.